subscribe. How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is the Black Ink Crew season 7 episode 5. So Drea comes back to the shop to clean out, you know, her area and get her things together, and she ends up talking to Prince and Treasure. And she's like, listen, you know, at the end of the day, y'all know how things have been going here at the shop. Y'all know Charmaine has been MIA. And her thing was me paying my booth rent. Because Prince was like, listen, at the end of the day, this is her shop. If she want to charge you $2,000 booth rent, if that's what the booth rent is, either you're going to pay it or you're not going to work here. And he was like, she didn't fire you. She just said if you don't want to do things her way, then you don't, you know, you can't work here. And she was like, okay, but at the end of the day, y'all know that I've been holding it down. Y'all know that she been absent. Like, what she did was wrong, and the way she came at me was wrong. And the fact that y'all didn't defend me and y'all didn't have my back, that really made me feel some kind of way. And Prince was like, you know what? She has a point. You know, she has a point. Like, I wasn't looking at it like that. I was just like, that's my boss. And if that's what she said, then what she said, what goes. But she does kind of have a point about us kind of having, you know, sticking together and acknowledging, you know, that everything wasn't everything here at the shop. So then we see that it's the night before the convention, and Ryan had Don put together a mixer for all the artists who are attending the convention who are of color. He said, listen, when I first started going to these conventions, there were no people of color there, and the few of us that were there, we were not wanted. It was made plain and clear that we were not wanted, right? And I just want to make sure that, you know, let everybody know that we created, you know, that I'm happy to see them here. I'm happy, you know, I want us to feel welcome. I want us to continue to pushing, you know, and I'm glad that, you know, that we sort of invading the space and sort of even out the playing field. So I thought that was dope. I thought that was pretty cool that Ryan put that together to invite the artists, you know, people of color, that are now represented in the field. Like, I thought that was cool. I respect that. Ford comes through looking like a zombie child because he is a new daddy and he's been definitely doing daddy duty. But he said, you know, this was his first night out since the baby was born, but this was important. You know, he wanted to come out, you know, and get out the house a little bit. We see a scene later on with him and Nina, and things are going really well with him and Nina as far as the co-parenting. He was like, listen, I don't know what the future holds as far as our romantic relationship, but right now we're off to a really, really good start of co-parenting. You know, I definitely see a different side of her. You know, she's definitely a lot calmer, and she's a really, really good mom. And I feel like that's what everybody kept trying to tell you for. Everybody kept saying, listen, she's hormonal. She's, you know, she's emotional. She's going through all these different things because she is carrying a whole person in her body. And so I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I understand where Ford was coming from, but, well, no. Well, yeah, anyway. But neither here nor there. I definitely can appreciate the fact that they have, you know, they're working it out. Right, at least for right now they are. They're working it out. So then Charmaine was there, and of course Charmaine is giving them the rundown of what happened at the shop, and of course she's giving them Charmaine's version of the story. And you're neglecting, you know, the whole I was MIA, I was absent, I wasn't around, you know, equipment wasn't working, supplies wasn't getting ordered. I wasn't letting, you know, yeah, I wanted Kitty to be my brand manager, but I ain't tell her what to manage. I ain't give her any information, any direction on what she needed to do. Like, you giving that one-sided story, and of course, what it's making it look like is now Charmaine is getting a taste of her own medicine, because when Ryan was going through the things that he was going through and trying to give, you know, explain to people all the struggles he was having, everybody was like, oh, Ryan, you this and you that. And Charmaine was one of the first ones, you know, one of the main ones giving him a hard time. But this is what I'm going to say about that. As much as I give Ryan a hard time, which I do, and I did, because I definitely see the growth in Ryan, and I see the maturity in Ryan as a business owner, and as a, I mean, outside of sleeping with his best friend wife, but that's a whole nother conversation. But as far as how he deals with his business and handles his business, I give him the utmost respect with that. Definitely for growth. Definitely for growth. But what I will say is, Ryan was never an absentee owner. Ryan never just like, well, he did ghost them that one time, but that was after the whole Kit situation, and Rachel found out he was sleeping with Kit, and I think he ghosted everybody to just kind of get his mental together before he kind of cussed everybody out, you know. But I mean, he definitely was running his shop. He definitely was running his shop. Whereas Charmaine isn't doing that. Now, granted, I give you a pass, Charmaine. You are dealing with a lot. You are a wife. You are a mother. You are still mourning the death of one parent, and you have another parent that is literally dying. I give you all of that. But that's all the more reason why you should have trusted Kit, trusted Drea, gave them some responsibilities, and prayed and trusted. If Kit was really your friend the way you say she was your friend, trust that she was handling your business and putting things in place. But neither here nor there. So of course it seems like Drea is just this horrible person, and Charmaine is owner of the year, and you're not gonna disrespect me in my shop after I did this for you and did that for you. Okay. So they get to the convention, and Charmaine and them are setting up, and Drea shows up. Because Drea is like, listen, I'm a free agent, but at the end of the day, I paid for a booth out of my money. I did the paperwork, and I paid for a booth out of my money. And so I guess it's 3 passes per booth. And so she was like, they were trying to give her 1 pass, and she was like, no, I get all 3 passes because I'm not here representing Second City Inc. I'm here as an independent agent. I'm by myself. And if I pay for a booth, then that's what I deserve to get, is a booth. Now, here's the whole conflict, because I ain't about to drag this whole thing out. The conflict is, once again, Charmaine feels like because she didn't do something she was supposed to do, everybody else is supposed to just do her a favor. So because you didn't handle your business as a shop owner, and you didn't do your paperwork, and you didn't pay for anything, you asked for everybody to pay for their own booth. Well, that's what she did. She paid out of her pocket for a whole booth. And if she's supposed to get 3 passes and a certain amount of space, then that's what she's supposed to get. She's not wrong for showing up saying, this is what you fired me from your shop. And now, as a result of no longer working for your shop, this belongs to me because I paid for it. We're not one big happy family because we haven't had a conversation to resolve the issue. So I showed up today fully intending to work in my space that I paid for. Now, Charmaine, you could have done one of 2 things. You could have A, called Drea to have a conversation and resolve the issue before y'all showed up at that damn convention, or B, sent her a cash app reimbursing her saying, listen, the paperwork is under Second City Inc. I'm going to refund you your money because I only want people who are working for Second City Inc. to be there. Because I feel like if the paperwork was under her company's name, then it doesn't really matter who paid for it. But because you waited till the day of, Drea's not wrong. Drea's not wrong. You know, and then Neek making smart comments talking about something. It ain't about the money, babe. We got the money. Money ain't no issue. It's never about the money. Well, it was about the money, because if money wasn't the issue, then Charmaine should have just paid for everybody. I feel like a situation like that, when Charmaine first said for them to pay for it, I just felt like, well, why are we paying for it? If it's a company situation and we're representing the company, shouldn't the company pay for everything? So anyway, Drea gets her 3 passes, and she's working on her side of the booth. Now, the other problem with the booth is, their booth is like literally in front of a pole. So the limited space that they had is already, it's cut in half even more because they already had a limited amount of space, and now this big ass pole is in the way. So Prince ended up being all man out. Now Prince thing is, Drea, we cool. Like, I understand what you got going on, this whole pissing contest you got going on with Charmaine, but at the end of the day, we cool, right? Like, why I can't do, like, you have the space. Why I can't tattoo over here with you? But what they didn't know is that there was another tattoo artist coming, aka old boy from England, you know, old boy from, you know, over to the UK. He flew his ass in and he was tattooing. So that's why they couldn't give the space to Prince, because they already had an ace up their sleeve. Then Miss Kitty shows up. Now, Kitty, you don't have no reason for being there other than to be antagonistic to the whole situation. I mean, of course, filming, but you know what I'm saying? So Kitty shows up, and now they can't get Kitty in because Charmaine done did something with the passes, because I guess Once you're in, you're in. You can't come in and out, probably for COVID reasons. So when Charmaine came in and she had all of the passes, she got all the passes stamped. Because I guess she figured everybody that's with me, they with me. So now Drea can't even use the third pass she has. She can't even use that for for Kitty, because the people at the door like, well, this pass has already been stamped. You can't, and I guess that makes sense too. So you can't go in and get a bunch of passes, go out and let people in. You can't keep letting people in. Probably not just COVID. It's probably another precaution as well. Yeah, we used to do that back in the day. We used to get concert tickets, and then we would leave with like the other. I'm telling y'all my business. Anyway, I know what they talking about because we used to do that when we was younger. We used to do that, girl. Anyway, so Kit was like, forget it. It's $80. I'll pay the $80. So Kit ended up paying her own way to go in. So of course, the minute Charmaine saw Kit, it was a whole nother situation, because now she irritated on top of irritated on top of irritated, right? So this, they're commingling. I mean, they're next to each other, but they're not talking to each other. They're not interacting in any way, shape, or form. And of course, Prince is feeling some kind of way because he like, so when y'all pissing contest, I'm the one that gets fucked. Like, because I mean, Charmaine don't tattoo, so not having enough space ain't affecting her at all. I mean, she got her little products on the table that she's selling and all of that. So Ryan shows up eventually, and of course, Charmaine is making it out to be that they did this to her and they did that to her, because of course her version of the story is she did the paperwork and she finagled it so she get a whole booth. She didn't finagle nothing. She paid for a booth. She didn't finagle it. Like, she didn't make it up. She didn't create a situation. It's her booth. So Ryan was like, all right, I can help you out. I got some space. Charmaine, my girl. I'm going to always make sure I got Charmaine's back. But the person she sends over there to work at Non-Mag is Prince. So now Prince feels some kind of way. He like, wait a minute. I've been holding Second City down the whole time. Ain't nobody been there but me. And out of all of these people, I'm the person you send to Non-Mag to put on a Non-Mag shirt and represent Non-Mag. Now, from a branding perspective, I feel like you were doing better over there with Non-Mag. But I understand where he's coming from a loyalty perspective. It's kind of like the first opportunity you had to kick me to the curb, you was kicking me to the curb. Now, I feel like a part of me feels like Charmaine knew that she was doing Prince a favor from that point of view. But the flip side is, again, I understand where Prince is coming from. Like, damn, like, I had your back, and this is what you doing? And of course, it's just a whole lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They talking shit. So then Caesar walks up, and y'all already know Caesar don't have nothing for Kitty. He walked right past her like he ain't see her. Now, I want to be fair. In the grand scheme of COVID and people wearing masks, he may really not have realized that was Kit, because he didn't even look in her direction. But from the point of view of we're filming a whole show, her ass was there. But he ain't speak to her. And of course, him, Ryan, and Charmaine get to talking. And of course, they talking shit about Kit. They talking shit about Dre and all that. And they tried to tell Charmaine, just go talk to her. Like, she's really right there. Go talk to Dre and try to clear this up. And you know how you in a situation where I'm over here talking about you and you can hear me. And y'all are over there talking about me and I can hear you. And we know we talking about each other. That's really what was going on. Then all of a sudden, Kit done went straight gangster. Now let me put this disclosure before y'all leave the comments up under the video. I did not see every season of Black Ink New York, but I saw enough seasons of Black Ink New York to know that all of that Kit was doing in the last 5 minutes of this episode, I'm straight DC. I'm straight DC. Like, that DC accent came out stronger than I have ever heard that DC accent come out. And all of a sudden, you hood. Girl, you ain't from no parts of the hood. We just see where you come from. Remember, we went to your house. Girl, Kid, really, don't get me wrong. I'm from DC, okay? And in the however many seasons you've been on this show, I done seen you get into arguments with people. I didn't even seen you try to fight people. I have never seen you perform the way you performed the last 5, even to the point where the producer had to go over and talk to you and tell you to calm down. You threatening to smack people. You threatening to whoop people's ass, talking about, I put that on my mama. I put that on my mama. I'm straight DC. girl, kid, go sit down. Like, nobody's scared of you. Even Charmaine's scary ass ain't scared of you, okay? I said, like, when they break the fourth wall, you know it's some extra shit. And when production had to go over there and tell her to calm down, that's when you knew. Like, girl, girl, sit down. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all, that's what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.